Hi, this is Health Powered Productivity by RaderCo. We're revitalizing productivity and banishing burnout through practical, tailored tools, healthy, sustainable habits, and coaching accountability. Declutter your mind, body, and life, one habit at a time. I'm your productivity lead, Marcey Rader, with your next bite-sized nugget of knowledge. I love reflections. I am a level 10 listicizer. Thinking back on specific periods of my life, whether it's the day or the last year, helps me grow, strengthens my relationship with my husband and my friends, and feels empowering when I can see I met my goals. I've reflected daily with the 5-minute journal app and then the paper planner for at least 5 years. I moved from the app to the paper planner in January, which I really liked a lot better because I'm shifting to more analog in my life. And when my planner ended a couple months ago, I decided instead of buying a new one, I just used my current planner. The 5-minute journal paper planner is beautiful, has a gorgeous linen cover, but I found that it didn't have enough space for me to write. So I ended up always like bleeding over into the next page. And so that's why I'm just using my own planner, but I highly recommend starting with it. And also, I'm just so used to the questions, I don't need the prompt. So in the morning, I write 3 things I'm grateful for, 3 things I'll do to make today great, and some kind of mantra. So example of something that I'm grateful for today, my husband's feeling better because he's had a cold. 3 things I'll do to make today great. My friend and our concierge, Lisa, we're going out tonight. And so I mentioned that. And my mantra for today. And then at the end of the day, I write down 1 thing I could have done today to make it better and 3 things that happened that were great. Sometimes the 1 thing I could have done today to make it better is maybe I rushed at lunch, or I found myself switch tasking in the afternoon, or something like that. 3 things that happened that were great. I'm always hoping that it is that, I gave a killer virtual workshop, or I really showed up and engaged the audience at a recent event. And a couple nights ago, it was that I had spoken for the North Carolina State University Park Scholars. And I felt that it went really well. And 1 thing I could have done that day to make it better was not put a reference to the movie 300, because they're all like 20 years old and they've never seen it. So I have an infrared sauna, and I either use it in the morning after I work out, or I use it in the evening. So I do my reflections there because my sauna is a device-free zone. And the other time I do it in my favorite chair at home. I also do monthly reflections on my goals, business goals with a little bit of personal thrown in, with a list I've used for a few years. And I do this with my friend, Lily Farrick. And I also do this at the end of the year with Lily in a much bigger capacity, and my friend, Wendy. And I look back on my advanced retrospective. And this is something that I write on January 1st of each year, as if the year had ended. So I write it, today is December 31st, 2022. And these are all the cool things that's happened. And it is incredible how much of this comes true. I don't look at it again until the next year. I write it on January 1st, and I do not look at it again until December. And it is so crazy how much some of it has come true. And I want to thank Carl Sakis for turning me on to that. I also do reflections with my husband on our anniversary, and on New Year's Day. We do it as well for the year. I do this with friends and family when we go on vacation. They just know to expect it. What was your favorite meal? Who was your favorite person you met? What was your favorite event? It's a good recap. And, I know what they say about New Year's resolutions, and this is not it. However, the new year marks a milestone, and dates are milestones. People are more likely to incorporate behavior change on birthdays that end in 10, like the 0. First-time marathoners tend to be 30, 40, 50, or 60. Milestones are when people move to a new house or a new city. I have a client who just moved into a new house, and I said, do not think that whatever habit you want, you're going to start after you unpack everything. Start working out, in the morning, like you want to, the day after you move into that house. And he did. He started doing 7-minute workout. When you start a new job, that's a milestone. When you get divorced, when you get married, when you start dating, all these are milestones, and dates are milestones too. Birthdays, anniversaries, and of course, New Year's. So you can use the end of the year or the start of a new one as a milestone to really reflect on the year and decide how you want your new one to start. So I want to give you some of my reflection questions because I get asked this question quite a bit. Big brag. So these are questions these are for business. These are for my business or career. These could be career related. My big brags, it's okay for us to brag about ourselves and what we're proud of that we did. And so I call it big brag. You can call it whatever you want. Big pit. And pit is language that I got from Angela Jaya Kim when I was in the Mastermind Savor the Success. But the big pit is something that happened that, of course, you didn't want to happen. And then I ask what worked well, what didn't work well. And for me, like what worked well last year was I had Lisa take on the concierge role, and she just celebrated her first anniversary with us, which is why we're going out tonight. And what didn't work well is our affiliate program. We had an affiliate program, but it turned, affiliate programs don't work well for all types of businesses, and we don't have a lot of product. And so it just didn't work very well. And that was okay. We tested it out. We had an experiment. I didn't take it personally, and I moved on with my life. What do I want to do more of? What do I want to do less of? What did I become that I'm proud of, or what did I accomplish? One of the things I was really proud of and accomplished was we created the mother of all ClickUp project management systems with our processes. I mean, when people look at our ClickUp, their eyes almost pop out of their head. And so I am really proud of what we've been able to do with our processes. Any lessons earned, relationship or program that strengthened, and a relationship or program that didn't strengthen. How did I grow emotionally or spiritually? And I'll tell you, for me this year, it was that I did go more analog. I wasn't tied to my AirPods as much. I made my sauna a device-free zone, and I just used silence. What felt easy or natural? My smartest decision. Did I manage my stress well? Who helped me the most? And I can tell you right now that who helped me the most was Annie Francesi with my branding. And who did I help the most? And leadership I exhibited. And then lastly, how did I save her life? So those are the questions that I go over with Wendy and Lily. And then when my husband and I have our anniversary reflections, we have our big brag as a couple. And I'll tell you, last year when we did our reflections this past July, it was that we paid off our house. We're debt free. And that was a big brag for us. We high-fived. Woohoo. Big pit as a couple. And I'll stop here to say, when you do it this way, because I send out the questions ahead of time, so we have time to think about it. And we did it on our anniversary, hiking in Umstead. So it wasn't like this thing that was rushed. We were walking, which helps if you have any anxiety about what you're going to say. But it's not this weird thing. It's just we're both talking about just our reflection on the year. And some people might not like this big pit question, but it's important. So then we also say what each of us think is working and what's not working. And that might be where you just limit it to one thing, because this cannot be a list of things that are not working. What I wish we had done more of, what I wish we had done less of. Smartest decision we made as a couple. Did we manage our stress well? Who did we help the most? How did we show love for each other? And this one can be surprising for some couples, because if you've read the 5 love languages, then you know that people have different ways that they show love. My love language is acts of service. Do a task for me, and that's better than a hug all day long. Words of affirmation are not real, that's not so much my thing. I don't need it so much. But my husband, he's never taken the test, but if I had to guess, it would be affection, like showing affection, or words of affirmation, or quality time. It could be any of those 3. But, so if I were to say to him, like, how did I show love for you? It would be that I make all of his breakfasts and put them in containers for the entire week on Sundays. And he really appreciates that, but he may not think of it as, oh, that's Marcey showing love for me. He might think of it as, oh, that's just Marcey. She's, food prepping for the week. But that's actually how I show love for him, because his love language is not acts of service. He would not think of that unless I told him. So that's one of the questions. What I would like to do differently in the next year, and what I would like for you to do differently in the next year. And this should be limited to one thing too. We ended up having 2 because we were both talking about it. And one of them was so simple, but it's, and I'm just going to share it. He does the laundry, and it'll sit in the laundry room for like 3 or 4 days. And I'll have to go back and get towels and things. And I just wanted him to put the laundry away within 24 hours. Like, that was something that, like, every week I was like, and it's not that big of a deal, but yet we have the space where we can tell each other. And he was like, oh, well, I didn't know it was such a big deal. What I want us to do more of, what I want us to do less of, who will we help and how, and what I commit to doing to strengthen our marriage. So these are different reflection questions that we have. And then, anybody that's followed us for any amount of time or has read my book, that we have weekly meetings on Sundays where we go over our 90-day visions. So with that, I encourage you to even take a few questions as you're sitting around the table this year, or it's New Year's Eve and you're with your friends, or New Year's Day brunch, and pull a few of those and do some reflections. Like I said, tonight I'm going out with Lisa, and I'm going to be emailing her, or not emailing because we don't do that. I'm going to be sending her some questions in ClickUp to think about for tonight, so that when we meet, she can reflect on some things that have happened with her in the last year that she's been with RaderCo. And I also want to take this opportunity to say that this is the end of season 1 of Health Powered Productivity Podcast. I wasn't sure how it was going to go. It has exceeded my expectations, and I am really loving the feedback that I get from people who are listening to the podcast. So thank you for joining in on season 1. We'll be back in the middle of January for season 2. And have a happy holiday, a great new year. And I hope your reflections work out well for you. Want more bite-sized, health-powered productivity tips? Please subscribe, and if you like it, let us know by leaving a review. Want more? Say hello to RaderCo at www.helloraderco.com.